Hi everybody, we're Dwarven Forge and we're here to show you stuff that looks good and feels good, and also, if you do it right, smells good.
What?
Hi, I'm Tyler with Dwarven Forge, and this is Critical Rebuild.
Yeah. What if we did do like scratch and sniff pieces?
Oh man, I would love that. Honestly, there's really not a market out there right now for scratch and sniff paint.
I think paint's doing it.
Paint's already doing it.
When it comes to sniffing paint, I think that market's already
There's
cornered.
already a very specific target market.
I don't know if he. I don't know if the smell is what.
It's not what draws to the color.
No. No.
But hi everybody, really excited to show you this stuff. So first and foremost, we played the GIF over the video, right? Or did we not yet?
Oh, I was just playing pre-roll.
We were just doing pre-roll. Gotcha. P-roll.
I was playing pre-roll.
Yeah. So I have a little GIF for you guys. So some people were talking about Sorrow Isle, how it's a 4x4, and I can't remember how often it came up even just recently this week, but just kind of like talking about bringing it down to a 3x3 and like how easy is that, or how would that look. And so I've kind of for this rebuild, I wanted to do this really fun swamp build, as well as one of my favorite episodes from campaign 2. As the title suggests, it's from episode 93. It's when Laura Bailey's character, Jester, I guess it's like it's been 5 months since that episode came out. So like it's a pretty notable moment right now. But just in case you're watching on your own, she does something really cool with a cupcake, and it really just sort of like upset Matt's plans anyway. And so he was talking about how he had this build all set up. So I thought, well, what better way to do Sorrow Isle than a 4x4 going down to a 3x3 and adding some contextual critical role parts to it as well, to make it kind of a fun. So we're going to show you the build, and we're going to show you it's going to be the critical role one, and then we're going to build something else on top of that. Like, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way, and then we're going to use the rest of the pieces that I didn't use for this thing to build like an alt build of Sorrow Isle at 3x3.
Did you want to show the GIF now, or do you want to save the GIF for later?
No, let's show it now.
Right,
we can show it again later as well, as we get more people.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, so it's really just like I brought it back from, because everything's a 24x24 mat. So when you get 4 of them, you just have to bring them in to the 12-inch mark on each thing, and then you just it's really that simple. It didn't really take much. Obviously, these are still our prototype mats, and we have like crazy humidity in our like our production studio right now is dripping because of how much condensation is on the roof, or the ceiling rather. So it sort of warped these maps a little bit. But it was really easy. Like it literally takes that much time and kind of that much forethought, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the main thing, is when people are talking about like changing the build footprint because it's on like 2x2 mats. It is, you can actually convert those 2x2s into a 3x3 pretty easily.
Pretty easily. Like you'll still like if you want to. Well, I guess we'll take it a second. Like there, you'll see in a second. I'll probably try to point it out, but you can still kind of see the seams of the mat for sure. It lays pretty flat, but when you get the grid lined up, it really doesn't look different. It doesn't detract from the actual texture of the mat either. It doesn't. That's what I found. I was actually like, it was an experiment in the first place, and that was kind of what I really liked seeing, was that it really worked really well. So why don't we go ahead and switch over to the build? And if I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry. I have that energy. So as you can see, currently right now, again, this is still using every piece. Sorry, not that it. This has the assortment of pieces that is in Sorrow Isle Mega Pledge. I did not use all of it, but we will use all of it once I move this thing. But so as you can see, I also added some of this city builder and some ruins, this stairwell, and these 2 docks. So outside of the stairwell and the 2 docks, you can get the rest of this by getting a ruins tutor pack and just and 2 simple cottage sets of the tutor variety from the web store, and that's basically all that's right there. Then on the bottom here, you'll see I made. We're getting inside the build here, but I put you'll get 3 ruined floors from the ruin set, and so I just took those, flipped it over because it has those CBS peg holes. Took some of the trunks from Dread Hollow. Is that? Oh, I guess yeah. I should say. Took some of my trunks from Dread Hollow. Stuck that on the bottom to kind of represent that sort of boggy atmosphere. And then you set that right there, and then it just sits on top, really nice. Semi-nice. I think it's just hitting the... Yeah, there we go. Just hitting the rock. And the nice part was, like, yeah, we were able to take some of, like, stepped rocks, and, like, the crescent rock is over here. You can really just get some really cool effects as you start moving those rocks in interesting places. Because that was the cool thing that I found, was that, like, when you raise it up this high, like, these things just really slide right under in such a nice way. I don't know. I just really liked that part. That was like super exciting to me to figure out. But then the rest of it, I wanted to make it something where, you know, we still have these. We still have all of these, like, little pathways, right? Kind of circles around here that we can still mostly fit this guy through. Right? This guy is still a little big when he's all put together. So if we even just pare it down a little bit, sort of sits in there a little bit nicer and moves through. So more of a tight sort of swamp bog than a big expansive swamp water. Island to island kind of a mentality was what I was going for building there. Inside the hut, we also see, like, magnetic accessories and things. Kind of just like a fireplace. Wondering what I should even mention in that regard. Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead.
Let's take a look at the inside. Yeah.
So, I want to open it up for comments and stuff if necessary. I don't want to ramble.
Let's take a look at the
unnecessarily.
It's not unnecessary. You're the one on camera. You talking is kind of the point.
Yeah. The gangplanks for the porch was a thing that I was looking. Man, I was trying to get the docks, and for whatever reason, we just don't have docks right now. I don't know where they are, and that's really frustrating. As that's sort of my job, is to know where pieces are. So I would have probably rather had done like an outside portion of the docks, like right there. But when Nate said came in and Chris had also suggested the idea of using these rocks as a way to sort of match the height over here, and they didn't really fit. They didn't really sit necessarily that well when they were this way, but they seem to be fitting better now. Yeah, at least a little bit. I found when I flipped it upside down and it had like a completely flat, it sat fine. And I don't mind this look. I actually really like that. I think it looks, crooked and weird, and it's perfect for Isharnai in this sort of rundown shack in the middle of nowhere.
Odenfor says, "Holy hell, is that Tyler? Does he look that bad?"
I mean, it's yeah. Well, I feel like it's really just all this.
Yeah.
When you Gene Wilder after 5 months, then it's.
I love Eugene Wilder.
What play did they write? What was that? What was that really good play?
I'm trying to think of what Eugene O'Neill actually wrote.
I know he wrote a theater.
The whole theater.
Like the whole. I know he did that. So
1 page.
Yeah.
82 seats in the orchestra.
Got him.
Turns page. Throwback to getting haircuts.
Yeah.
I had my haircut in this office 5 days ago by Mace.
Rabbit Burner did that. Yeah. That was a good day.
Gene Wilder, Frau Blucher.
Yeah. I'm wondering what else.
Well, we can just show some of the swamp.
Yeah, I would love if we could do a bit more of the area to that side.
Oh, accidentally hit that.
That's all good. It's easy to fix. See, this is my favorite part of the swamp banks. Honestly, is that I built the outer rims, and this one took a little bit of extra time, but basically the entirety of the swamp portions of the build probably took no more than 30 minutes, and that was with me having no. I really started with this thing was the most concerning thing to me, was how am I going to do this? How am I going to solve this? And as I was thinking of that, I was placing these things, and I knew I kind of wanted it to be focused on this mat, so that way it was going to be the top mat. So if you had to pull everything else out, you could, or regardless, it would basically be really easy to just take, because everything is currently outside of these 3 pieces. Everything is on this mat only.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be the hard part to kind of take away, but that's not that bad. So that was the other thing I was kind of thinking of, and I guess that's why I wanted to do this one as well, is that I really love these water mats. They save me a lot of time, and they also get me really excited to do water builds, because the terrain trays are great. They are. But what I really prefer with this specifically is the idea of the surface area that you cover in just one go. And I don't need it to be magnetic in that way. When I want this much room, I'm totally cool with it being non-magnetic. If I was in the 12x12s, that's the best part of those metal sheets, And the same thing with battle boards, having that raised level is. And Nate's gonna go over that tomorrow, honestly.
Tomorrow's supposed to be a lot of stuff about battle boards and terrain trays and mats.
Mm-hmm.
All of our floor coverage. Oh, Nirvatri, are you doing your first thing today?
Very cool.
It's gonna go big on the forest stuff. This build means I need some swamp stuff. Well, here's the nice thing. So one of the best things about the fact, we got all these. There's actually some forest pieces in here. What's great about these 3 environments, what I really like about this set in particular, is that they all actually work together. These swamp pieces are all supposed to blend with the forest.
That's a forest piece. This hidden burrow lump, right over here. This one right here is a forest. It's a forest lump.
Why don't you go ahead and show the hidden burrow part of it?
Ooh. It's got that little.
Yeah.
It's got that little section there.
And so you can just hide that burrow if you want. Yeah. Build it against the.
Yeah. So when you build it against here, I can even pick it up and then. I'll move the pieces. So when you push it up against this stuff, when it lays flat, it has this really nice effect of you could put it above and then you'll actually have the hole, right? And then pushing it up here, it really just kind of hides that, and it's nice. It ends up just becoming an additional mound at that point.
Yeah. So that's the thing is, if you see if you look at it, so I think we're really, I feel like it's the trifecta ledges that kind of bring it all together, because the trifecta the trifecta ledges not only blend in with the swamp banks, but the forest ledges are also made with the same footprint that they can go straight up against the Aranthor escarpments. Yeah. Not the same ledges, but like, don't we have trifectas that go against? So you can transition out of the mountains.
So the trifecta is meant to be with the escarpments, right? Like, yeah. So then we have pieces like this, which is the forest banks to trifecta transition piece, right? So this one itself is something that, like, as you can see, this has the I think it's like 42 millimeter edge that breaks down into the 12 millimeter for banks, so for ledges rather. I should have grabbed one. Actually, I think there's one right behind you. Are they barbecuing next door?
It kind of sounds like it.
Kind of smells like it too.
If you guys can hear that music, let us know.
Yeah. We gotta have more reasons to evict these people. No, I don't mean it that way.
Do you want the straight?
Yeah. That's fine. Perfect. Yeah, that's the straight. This is the forest. This is the forest trifecta straight ledge, and as you can see, you know, that's the intention. And so then when you set this, I'll even just move this because this will be close enough, right? Or is this within the? Okay. So then when you put it in, right there, this bank, it's this. You know what? I can just switch that. This bank hits there, and then that. Right. So, well, that was upside down. I was like, why did that not work? So it kind of like all blends into one kind of flat line on this side, while also still having the. So the transition ones don't pair with any specific escarpment, but you know, this one, the short one, the convex, the concave, and the short concave all pair with an escarpment. And so the mountain, like the actual like escarpments themselves blend with both the forest and mountain respective ledges. So, is there something you were going to say?
Yeah, people are saying they can hear the music. It's faint, but it started literally 20 minutes before the stream.
Yeah, so sorry if that gets distracting. Sorry about it. Wish we could do more.
We don't have anybody else in the office right now.
We would have to take the 2 minutes to it's fine.
Yeah.
Glad they're having fun. I mean, legit.
So they didn't have a map for this section, right, in the show?
So it's weird. It's weird because of what ended up happening, Matt usually builds. He says this too, is that like he usually builds stuff per session. Just because I think he kind of knows his group pretty well and knows that like these things can turn sour, or like he has the intention of like, nah, these things are gonna want to fight. Mm-hmm. And so what he said about this one was that like he did plan something. There was a build, but he usually doesn't he doesn't release pictures of like unused builds because he's like, no, that's kind of the mystery. That's kind of the fun of the show, is that like it didn't happen, so you don't have to see it. You know. I did this kind of based on the area, so because like the Blomkill Mount, what is it? It's the Blomkill Mountains. I think so. Anyway, I'm trying to remember what it is, but
Is this to talk about Critical Role Cupcake of Deliciousness? Yeah, we're
yes,
talking
it
about.
Is. It is indeed.
Apparently, there was a map plan for this, then Matt had it and just never actually got to take it.
He never got to do it because Laura Bailey, in all of her awesome glory, I mean, like legitimately, I was actually able to watch this one live, and it was brilliant. It was a perfect solution to a really hard problem. When you're like Isharnai is not a hag necessarily. There's I don't know. There's new information that I haven't been able to catch up on, but like, it was the situation where Knot was cursed by this person, Sam Riegel's character, and then to get away the curse, this character is like Isharnai herself like feeds on misery, and so Jester was gonna have to like lose her hands because she loves art, and then she was able to give her a cupcake, this Isharnai, and give her disadvantage on wisdom saving throws because it was sprinkled with the dust of deliciousness, which gives disadvantage on wisdom saving throws, and then cast modify memory, so that she ended up thinking that they had the best time, and that all she liked was that her company was so good that she was going to remove the curse, and she did because Matt rolled like a 2, and so it was like, yeah, it was so good. It was so pure of just like actual D&D chaos, or just like tabletop chaos in general. Because like I remember when we played Vampire with Colby, you and I, like just some of the weirdest.
He was an extremely chaotic GM.
He loved it. Like he was just like, yeah, I don't care what you do. We will do it.
Yeah, I remember.
We'll have a fight at the Dairy Queen parking lot. we did.
Yeah, like I was playing this Nosferatu, who like a vampire that's just like naturally strong.
Like but it was like everything. You dumped like everything into that.
I dumped everything into strength, but I also made him super innocent, and he had never actually like. He like just stayed like in the sewers on his computer that he had like his like computer that he'd like gotten from like the dump at some point, and so he finally ventured up there, and just every time he tried to do anything,
he just massively underestimated his strength. He like tried to do the Fonz thing at the jukebox and then just destroys it.
It was the first scene was going into the bar and like trying to like throw the door open like at a saloon. And just throwing the doors off the hinges.
So I want to move the gangplanks and the staircase here. And I'm going to lift this guy up so you can kind of see it again.
This is really clever.
Right? So, like, I really... It just kind of... Because the Swamp Mega Build comes with these two guys, and it comes with 2 of these Crescent Rocks. Right? Sorry. Or should I hold it up?
You can hold up if you like. Yeah.
Are there? Yeah, 2 of those. So there's some other things that I wanted to show about those Crescent Rocks that I think some people were kind of asking in general. We'll get to that.
Yeah, that's the main thing. As far as questions go, we do want to show some stuff about the swamps. That's why we chose this.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of like get through some of the ideas I was having and like showing some like this has just enough height too. So if you want to, like, here, I'll pull it back this way. Like, you can even set it up to act as one of those extra stumps, right? Like, and obviously this is 2 of these floor heights high plus a tree trunk, which I think the tree trunks also sit at like 25. I think they're an inch. So, you know, that's obviously a very specific height to reach, but that's kind of my favorite part of this stuff, is that it really gives a nice little extra base to everything, and if you can manage to kind of get these pieces all working with each other, then you kind of get some really fun stuff, like the Dread Hollow trunks. That was something that Nate suggested to me, and I thought that was super cool. I just thought that was it's like I didn't even understand that that's possible. So like, you know, these things fit flush with each other, so they kind of even become one big unit. But you can get, I should probably move these out of the way. You can get nice, like, I'm trying to think about where I found this the other day. I think it was with 2 of them. Yeah. Like, these even end up sitting into this thing, where that's a nice little elevation piece, or at least some form of, I don't know about rough terrain necessarily, but interesting levels to play with around either combat or even just sort of scenarios where you need to have differences in elevation or the like.
Well, that's what's interesting about doing a swamp build, right? Is it's getting across that horizontal space is difficult.
Yeah.
You've got swamp everywhere. You've got barely any land. You can drop all kinds of weird creatures and stuff on the land that is there.
Yeah.
Like that. Like to me, that's like what defines like a swamp as the D&D biome. It's just every step could be like.
Could be your last.
Yes.
Who's here?
Casey.
Casey.
I think she's the only other person
Yeah.
in the office. I'm sorry.
So
yeah, they're trying to have a dance party, and we're just over here.
I'm sort of. I
Raising
think I'm
hell.
just gonna go for it. Right. Let's see. The holes are just a little too small on that one. So I feel like people were kind of asking about. I thought I saw something about the suspension bridge.
People were wondering if the bridge would be compatible. Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of wanted to take a second to show that. So, it's certainly because again, anytime you see in the field guide or in the actual build photos themselves, Nate, Toby and I should say, Nate, Toby and I kind of took some time making terms, like definable terms for everything, things that we share with the factory as well as you, the backers, to kind of, keep everything copacetic, keep everything kind of moving down a line. And so these are called, we're calling them the textured paired pegs. So the reason for that is twofold. The actual distance between them has to be the same every time because it has to be able to match those kind of things, right? Like, so it has to, these have to line up semi-perfectly. Otherwise we get into some really bad territory in terms of things being askew, but then also the pins themselves. How the pins themselves are, I don't know how you can really tell, but most of you guys have like suspension bridges or these things in general anyway, from your door toppers. So that's what the texture there is for too. Is to give it an extra grip. It's a thinner hole, so we have to make sure that these things kind of, while they're removable, make sure that they grip while they're inside.
Tell Casey to let the cake guy in. Wait, the cake guy's here?
Okay.
Didn't Toby already leave?
Well, I mean, I feel like she's going down, so it'll happen.
In an earlier round, even.
But also you can do that, right? Like you could also, ooh, you know what I should do?
Bye, Hamster. Yeah, guys, Hamster's gonna be on stream on Sunday if you guys want to do some painting.
Yeah.
I think he's doing runes.
He's doing the ruins.
The ruins paint scheme is ridiculous. I'm very excited about it.
Oh man, it's just a little bit rougher to get out of my. So you could even. You don't have to do it. Probably even not necessary. But you could even, if you want these two things, you could, pair these directly with each other, right? Like,
you just put two rock pieces together.
I mean, like, this doesn't matter. Like, this to me is like, yeah, that's kind of funny. I don't think you need to do this.
Actually, what you could do with that,
mm-hmm.
you could use that to create like a weird like suspended bridge thing.
True.
Interesting.
Yeah, you could, because you could also make it go this way, right? Like you could put this between. Oh, you know what? Thinking about like waterfall underneath or something like that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Probably you want to do those. You need to put something heavy on these ends to stop it from like.
Well, I'm even thinking that like you would put the pegs, and then you'd set those two ends on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sit it like that. I keep meaning to make sure that I'm looking at this directly.
It's all good.
Dude,
so I guess we have two rocky bridges in this.
Those are crescent rocks.
I know. I'm joking. I'm saying if you peg them together.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm running over here real quick to grab this guy. So this guy isn't part of the swamp, but it is part of a lot of other things.
Yeah, no, we're not doing beans today. We're just showing a lot of cool uses for the swamp stuff.
Yeah,
basically.
Beans are kind of reserved for Nate.
Yeah, and I mean, and the beans are coming soon. Honestly, we're 2 days away from Big Bean Day.
We do have a Bean Day reserved for Saturday. So this is the Rocky end cap, right?
Yes.
Placed on the side there, and you can kind of tell it kind of fits flush in the rest of the design as well. I really like that it kind of moves into the same kind of rocks, but it's really easy to then also... I think this one got placed in the wrong spot, the hole. But basically what you're supposed to be able to do is you can also... This also will have a anchor magnet, but you can set that up like that. And it still kind of has a similar formation. Alright. It's freaking hot.
It is extremely hot in here.
So...
And probably too cold in the production room.
It's probably drowning right now in there. So at this point, what I'd love to do is to do one of the just use the rest of the pieces after we've kind of taken this away and
make a 3x3 sorrow aisle.
Yeah, just a full actual sorrow aisle. So I'm gonna move these guys out of the way.
That was one of the things people have been saying is they wanted to see Sorrow Isle kind of condensed on a smaller footprint.
Yeah.
Because compared to the other mega builds are 3x3, right? And then Sorrow is 4x4.
Yeah, and that was why. It was because, again, with the 4 terrain mats, right? Or sorry, I should say the water texture mats. Mm-hmm. With the 4 of them, it was the intention to be like, well, I think Nate said it either yesterday or Tuesday night. It must have been Tuesday night. Talking about how it's like, well, when it came to the packaging of a 3x3 water mat, it became cost prohibitive. It also became really clunky and hard to do. So instead of doing that, we opted for that, and then we were going to have this conversation that we're having now about how to drop it down. So the biggest thing that I would start to change from all of this, and I'm certain that like Rabbit Burner or somebody else also has some great ideas. So at this point, like I've done what I wanted to do for the critical build. I'd love to just like do something with you guys, and if you guys have any suggestions, I'll be placing some pieces, and if you start to see like, oh, we should probably set that there instead, go for it. I will listen.
Have they shown all the pieces combined to one island? Is that possible?
It is.
It depends on like the...
It depends. I think it is possible. It's just, it would be one of those things where I think if you were to do that, it would be a lot of... It would essentially turn into like a 5-point star.
Yeah.
You know, like it'd be like a... Yeah. I wonder though. That is kind of big and small.
We would need to bring in...
Yeah.
Because there's so many banks compared to the floors.
Well, yeah. It's the thing where there's still 8 of these 3x3s.
Rabbit wants to know if there's any verticality in the swamp.
Yeah.
Actually, there is one piece in particular.
There's the crescent rocks, right? Like that's up a little bit, but then we do have this bad boy coming in as well. The Titan's Tooth bottom is also within the swamp mega build. Yes. Perhaps you would like to see the forest Titan's Tooth base with a quildren tree on top, Christopher.
Oh, yes.
Hand me.
Yes, let me grab the quildren.
We'll talk about that later.
That was a flawless Peter Lorre. I don't know what
I know it was a flawless Peter Lorre.
What is there to talk about?
It's more the word sounded.
Something wrong with Peter Lorre saying quildren?
I don't know if there's something right about it. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if this is what I want, but we will soldier on until I am proven wrong, which is very often.
That's fair. Where's that Mesa's right button?
It's on back order.
Oh. We missed out on the pre-order. We gotta wait until those Mace's right buttons get back in stock.
Yeah. I wonder if this might just fit. Like, I might have to push it just.
I guess there are more floors over here than I was expecting. I guess.
Yeah, and that was kind of the thing. I was realizing that I was like, oh, okay, like I could actually we could I think we could even wow.
Yeah.
We could even put this guy here now, right? We can put this thing here. I think I do want this thing to still be the center focus.
The Quildren?
Yeah, but we can put that
it's
guy
a good,
there.
it's a good
we can
MacGuffin.
put this thing there. We can put this thing there for now. I keep saying that guy. I don't really like that.
That tree always takes my breath away. Yeah, that's one of the pretty... That might be my favorite tree, honestly. It's very pretty.
I mean, we're really focused on this guy right now, so...
Yeah.
I'll move him over there so we can still see the...
That tree's in the way. I also like the willow, though, too.
Yeah. All right, there. He's still... It's still in frame. So... So, Chris, when was the last time you watched Critical Role?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've been trying to watch it again. The problem is, I'm really bad at watching things.
It's not true.
No, I'm pretty bad at watching things. Until I get hyper-fixated on a show.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch that entire thing. But it happens, like, once every couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for months, I just won't really watch anything, because it'll just feel like such a time commitment.
Right.
So I never really watch shows unless they're already done. And I know how long I'm getting myself in for.
So that's why you won't watch One Piece.
Yeah, that's why I won't watch One Piece. That's the only reason why I won't watch One Piece.
This and only this.
The pure length. They have a party every... No, the party has nothing to do with us, I don't think. They have a party at least
you know
4
what?
nights a week.
No, it is to do with us.
They're just watching the Wildlands Kickstarter page and celebrating every
They're like,
night.
yeah, go!
But they're too shy to say anything to us.
I can understand that, you know? We're not intimidating, but it's just that thing where...
I'm thinking a single large swamp island with Baba Yaga's hut in the middle.
It's not here.
I know, I wish it was. There's a very cute...
Very, very talented
Yes.
sculptor.
She's a 12-year-old girl? 10-year-old girl?
I'm not gonna... I don't know.
She's very young, but
She's young. She's I think
sculpted-
she's like 13 or 14, but like...
Yeah, she sculpted the chicken feet for a Baba Yaga's hut and sent it to us. Her dad helped her package it in a mock Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket.
Oh, it was so cool. I loved it so much.
And it's made to take one of our city builder buildings to make a little Baba Yaga hut. And it's genuinely like an incredibly well sculpted piece of chicken feet. And it's at Nate's house, I think.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
sure. Well, I think it was. I don't know if it was made for the team or him specifically.
Aurora, that's it. Aurora 12.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. Is she? Yeah. I wish we had that here because it would be great to drop that in. We should at some point during the campaign drop that in a swamp build.
Yeah.
Because we literally have
That'd
the
be fun.
locale for it now.
Yeah.
Like, she had no idea we were making swamp, and she sculpted that a few months ago.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, what are
right.
the odds? Setting that girl up. Man, the second that she can get a job, I'm sure we'll be headhunting her. Can't wait to be a Baba Yaga. Have a half-submerged graveyard in the swamp. Ooh, give myself cool ideas. Yeah, the swamp in particular, I think, is a very good set to like mix with other random things you bring in.
Yeah.
Like it'd be great, like if you get like some, like some like tarred bones or something, like some large beast and its remnants just like sticking out of the swamp, stuff like that.
Right.
Bye, Taco Sun King. Thanks for coming.
See, this is a good one right here for, like, I could put this short bank there, or I could also put the transition, right? And now we're already trying to build towards this thing, and that's going to be the tough part. Because the only pieces I have left.
Are we basically making like a big island with like a few bogs in the middle?
We could. That's kind of what I'm starting to realize is that we might want to just...
We
might just want to nix this and then just make one big section here.
Yeah.
And that might solve the problem.
We kind of got a jigsaw puzzle thing going on.
Yeah.
Where we're filling in the outsides first.
Well, that's kind of how I do it anytime I build anyway. Is that I like building that way. It kind of helps me conceptualize where, because anytime I start to move in, I start to realize the weakness of the outside. So it kind of like it helps me kind of conceptualize stuff.
Would it be possible to see a small piece that has a side magnets?
I'm not positive what they're meaning.
Yeah, by side maggots. By side magnets, do they mean the paired pegs?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they mean that. I don't think they mean that.
Your Hellscape just shipped. Excellent. Oh, I saw somebody just got their Hellscape during the stream as well. I think it was Rogue Jedi.
Far too few minis.
Everybody's getting their stuff, man. I'd like to see both the land and water broken up as much as possible. Lots of small islands and small pools.
Gotcha. I don't know if we'll have time for that, but I'll do my
we're
best.
We're very close to having like basically like a big pond build right now.
Yeah.
Which could actually be kind of interesting because then you could drop some sort of creature in the center, like coming up out of the water.
Yeah, they come up the water. Sure.
I mean, wouldn't you? Like a swamp kraken?
Yeah, I mean, I'd do something like that. Yeah, that's also me. Apex Primordial. Yeah. Rabbit knows.
Swamp thing. Let's monetize this so we can make STL files.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the... There's so many things that would be cool to do, and we simply don't have the time to do them all. But, like...
Yeah. So the slink root is its own freestanding tree. It doesn't need to sit on any rock. It doesn't need to sit on anything. This guy... La 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 la. La 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 la.
When we were doing...
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
When we were doing the first like practice Wildlands games,
yeah,
that was one of the things that we had sculpted, and it was one of the
the enemies.
Yeah, it was one of the enemies. It was one of the first
yeah.
things.
Well, the intention of this thing. Oh, you know what? Shoot, I couldn't find the hanging moss, and I was gonna put the hanging moss on stuff.
Oh shoot.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, if you can, I can't. I think they got placed somewhere in the production room, and yeah. So anyway, this thing is we are going to need some. I'll take a second to go grab them though.
Yeah.
This thing is awesome. I think Nate and I were talking about it like just kind of being just like this living tree that like I thought about it in two ways. I thought it was like, yeah, this is a cool living tree that like serves as an enemy, but then I'm always really obsessed with the idea of like maybe an actual mini with a base. Yeah, this is right.
We can go.
We can show this, right? This is not ours. I'm just saying we can put this on stream, right?
I mean, we didn't make the rabbit either.
Okay, cool.
Did we?
What rabbit?
The Rabbit Ranger that we always use? That's not one of our molds, right?
I don't think so.
We didn't make Gary Gygax, right?
No.
We're probably okay then.
I think we're okay. Okay.
Oh, they did mean the paired pegs. They wanted to.
Oh,
see
you did mean the paired pegs.
They wanted to see how large the.
I will
holes are.
definitely bring those back and I'll show you. I just wanted to do one thing. So I figured this out and I thought it was super, super cool. And I love this idea of like taking this tree and using it as like an option for your for your PCs to just
a mount.
Yeah. Either as a mount or if you have a second one, you can just go ahead and
Make a tumble check.
Yeah, you can go here, right? Like, you can set them up as long as the base is like a normal sort of circular base. It works a little bit better. But you can have either a fight or you can have it, just like, I don't know. I'm always kind of into that idea of mobile pieces of terrain, things that like move turn by turn.
Oh, that'd be really cool to do with drift stones.
Yeah, I have an idea for that too.
Like bumper cars, but on drift stones.
That'd be fun. So let's go back to paired pegs, and I'll see if I can. I need to also make sure that we're finishing this out so that we can show off the full
3x3.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to break this up a little bit more than I thought I was.
Evil druid tree horse. Is that a handle plant check or like?
I feel like it's still handle animal. Just kind of depends on what you classify that tree as.
A tree.
It has the perspective of a tree.
Well, what are they considered treants?
I don't remember.
Monstrosities?
No, monstrosities are usually things like like a manticore or something like that. Well, actually, manticore might be an aberration, but
I'm sure somebody in chat's gonna know. I want to do bumper stones.
Bumper stones.
Hey, can a mini hide under its bottom roots?
That is a good question.
A small mini? Do we have a halfling around?
Yeah, we've got some smaller minis.
I wish I brought those gnomes I need to paint. I could literally just put one of them under there.
This is like a normal townsperson-sized mini, and it definitely does fit mostly. I think it has like that one front spot. I don't think there's many places that you could...
So if you had
like, you can have that where it's a little bit more open. Any spot that like has capability of like going around a mini is probably best. I don't think it has... It can't go like right on top of it necessarily.
So if you had a halfling or a gnome mini, it'd be easier. Yeah.
A little bit easier,
Yeah.
but not by much, I don't think. Because that wasn't even that hard, right? Like, that wasn't that bad, in my perspective. Maybe it was for other people.
Yeah, everybody's leaving now. That was like...
They're like, you know what? I'm done.
They hated that.
You did not understand how important this was.
So we're just going to drop the floor pieces in...
I think so. I think the only thing for me right now, the issue I'm having is... I think I just need one more short, unfortunately. And I think that actually just offset me again. So we'll do this there, and then we'll put that guy there. So maybe armor. Oh no! I still need another short if I wanted to do it that way. So
can we pull the short from somewhere else?
No. What we're gonna do instead is we're gonna do that. So we can take this guy out. We can keep that there. We can keep this there. And that's all the same kind of piece right next to each other, but kind of going for speed a little bit right now, not necessarily the most dynamic look. Because I still want to show that. I still want to show whoever asked about the pair pegs. I want to show those again.
Yeah, it's just the crescents. It's the crescents, right?
Yeah. In this, anyway. In this is the only thing that has the paired holes. If you're asking about the sizing of the hole, it is...
small.
I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't say it in case I'm wrong. So let me preface with a song. Mayhaps it might be 5/64ths, but maybe Tyler is just a huge dumb dork. Did that work?
Yeah, it's a slant rhyme. It's considering the circumstances.
Great.
Considering you gave yourself fourths to rhyme with.
Yeah. Well, because that's the that's the measurement. So, but no, I think it's either that or slightly smaller than that. Yeah, these are fairly small holes. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to the camera here. Let's see, oh, it's not in focus. Sorry.
I got it. Put it down, baby.
Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of what you're looking at. The textured peg itself then goes into the hole. The textured pegs are not very long themselves. I think they
Mace is heckling you.
Of course she is. Why would she do anything else? Why should anybody do anything else? Yeah, what are they? They're like 15 millimeters. So, not very long, but that's okay because they basically sit half in and half out anyway. You know, so it's like, 7 millimeters deep here and 7 millimeters deep on the other thing that you're attaching. Was there another part to the...
I think they just wanted to see how large the holes were.
Okay. If there's any other question about that, just let me know, and I'm happy to answer.
Is it the same size as the holes from the balcony piece from the Castle Builder set?
It's the same size as any pole accessory hole.
Okay. I couldn't tell you. Welcome to Poles and Holes with Dwarven Forge.
Yeah. So it's.
I wish we were Polish.
Why? Because we'd have really good kielbasa. No, kielbasa is...
Kielbasa is Portuguese.
Yeah.
I think. Wait, no.
Well, no, isn't it?
Oh no, Portuguese has like a sausage thing.
Okay.
That's really good. It's like a spicy sausage.
And so do the Polish.
Well, yeah, they have Polish sausage.
Right. That's why I started saying
it's not kielbasa.
I know it's not. That's what I was saying.
I know you were saying kielbasa. That's why I was saying it was wrong.
But I was saying I was wrong because I knew it wasn't Polish.
Okay, I'm agreeing with you.
Then I'm agreeing with you about agreeing with me about I was wrong.
All right, well, I'm glad we ended this amicably.
I'm glad that this is done. Let's move on.
Kielbasa is Polish. It's totally Polish.
The important debates happen here on Critical Rebuild, everybody. Just remember that. Oh, boy. There are people in this world, they wake up, they wake up thinking everything's okay, everything's fine, everything's safe.
Apparently kielbasa actually is Polish.
Oh.
Which... I don't know if that's them trying to troll us.
End cap over here.
Kielbasa does not sound Polish to me.
I don't know.
But I also don't know Polish.
The language, so I'm not going to. You know what's really cool? Yeah. So all I did was I took the hidden burrow lump that was stationed right here, took it out, put the end cap there, and now we can still put this guy here for that extra little rock effect, but now the actual burrow is actually open, which kind of makes it very fun. I don't know. You could even say there's also, I think there's a...
I mean, it gives like some story reasons for like enemies to pop out.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, that is a very clear, enemy escape or enemy entry hole. So there's also a really cool forest piece. One of the regular forest floors. I think it's the forest curve. I think it's the forest curve. It has like this little burrowed hole in the actual sculpt, and so you put those next to each other, and it just really like solidifies this really cool effect.
Okay, we've got 2 questions. We need ambient swamp sounds, which first off we had until they turned off the music.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, also we have ambient swamp humidity, at least.
I'm sweating so hard. I've been sweating so hard this entire time.
We definitely have the environment of a swamp in this room. Like, if you smelled our production room right now, it is musty smell.
And then, can we see the cavernous river transition piece on the swamp mat? Like, transition from cave to swamp. That's like old. Cavernous river transition piece. Is that KS2? Or is
that's KS2. Yeah, I can grab that. That for sure. I don't mind. Yeah, and just so everybody knows too, like, we are still planning on doing some compatibility video, so or content at least. So for all those like big questions, I might even see if I can.
I really don't like the look of the gaps between mats. So that's only because we've got prototypes right here that we basically threw together roughly ourselves.
Do you want to show the GIF again while I go grab the transition?
So, as you were saying before, one nice thing about these people were saying, hey, how come Sorrow Isle is a 4x4 when the other mega builds are a 3x3? What would Sorrow Isle look like on a 3x3? Or they were asking for a 3x3 mat because we offer basically 4 2x2s. It's actually super easy, as you can see with this video here, to take those 4 2x2s and convert them into a single 3x3. All you got to do is overlap them by 1 foot. Just go to a little halfway point on each one, and you've got yourself a 3x3 mat.
Yeah, and like Chris was also starting to say too, it's like, again, it's kind of partially due to our environment right now. These are prototypes, so they aren't our final product by any means.
It's been very difficult for us to get to send out and get prototypes back from places just because shipping is like so much.
It's a little weirder right now. So what ended up happening was that it's, like we kind of made some makeshift ones, and so the material we used with the humidity that's going on in these rooms has just sort of warped the pages, or warped the mats rather. So yeah, I completely understand the hesitation of like how these might look against them. I wish we had our final prototypes to show you better. But like, again, being here in person, and like if I'm playing on this, I think it ends up being okay for me. I wouldn't stop anybody from saying that it just doesn't fulfill the look that they would want. But this would be a surefire solution to something like that. Just because, like, the price for these mats haven't been talked about yet, but like they're really good for what they are.
What set is this using? This is using, so we're using all the pieces from the Sorrow Isle, except instead of putting it on a 4x4 playing space, we're putting them on a 3x3 playing space to show what like a denser build of Sorrow Isle looks like, if you don't want it spread out on a 4x4.
Yeah. As well, to my knowledge, though, it doesn't include the add-ons, only the stretch goals. Yeah, so that's any of the pledges themselves are going to have their own ingrained stretch goals. So the starter set, the war game, they have their own individual sets of stretch goals, and each biome, forest, mountain, swamp, also have their own stretch goals. And then you get into the thing that we're trying to call, what we're calling the master level stretch goal, which goes into both the explore pledges and then the mega build pledges, as well as the Wildlands Ranger and the Untamed Wildlands. The quantities given are all there on the page. So if you want to get over here, I actually just realized we didn't get to say this yet. So instead of using like a small convex swamp bank on this edge, I decided instead to use the small stump lump because it has this nice sort of, especially when you're using these as the ending line, it can get some really nice effects of like matching the wall just directly. It's really cool. But I'm going to move it now so I can have another. I'm going to put this guy. It was the caverns water transition. So as you can see, it's not built for these banks necessarily, but that could be a really easy.
Put that with the escarpments. Or not the escarpments, with the ledges.
Yeah, you should be able to. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like this should be a very simple fix. I think I'm doing it the wrong way. I think this is actually just. I have to take an extra second to think about how that actually like pairs with this. But that's at least the look of this against the swamp. I'm not certain if that's what you were asking for specifically, but I can do what you want in a different way if that's what you're asking for. But that's it against the banks. There is a solution to this, and I am too dumb right now to remember what the solution is. I mean, obviously, like, place. I mean, it's not gonna work that way. But
seems like mountain ledges would go with it.
Yeah, I'm not certain how much it works with the swamp, but it definitely has that sort of, I could take it out of this, right, and instead of take these guys, put those on the end there.
It's just saying, like, use Aranthor. Over and over, she's like, to use the mountain. Use Aranthor.
I get that. I'm trying to use it with the thing that I have right here, though.
Yeah, a lot of the Aranthor is being used for something else at the moment. So we don't have a lot of the Aranthor on hand at the moment.
No. Also, that's not what the build is today. Look at that. So you could also just put, at this point, I would either put, we have those forest 1x2s, as well as, this is a 6x square right here. So yeah, even like Mason's suggesting, if you had like a 1x6 floor from Aranthor, or not Aranthor, but if you had like a
let's even just pop.
It's a pretty simple thing, as well as even just putting those old caverns water tile pieces that this connects with right in here, and it that could be a really cool.
Let's even just pop this next to one of the Aranthors,
sure.
just to show the color. We don't have the escarpments on hand because they're being used for something else. But so we've got these ledges that you can use as banks to kind of edge this out. That might be a bit of a better fit. It looks like they are slightly different in color.
Yeah, they're going to be a little different because this is more caverns than Aranthor.
Yeah.
This has the actual like caverns paint, especially near the bank edge. So what I would also do in that case, what I would be, I'll still put this here, right? I'll go grab the two other pieces that I was thinking of. I'll be right back.
I'm going to answer a few other questions that came in here. Yes, there are actually forest pieces involved in this build. So one of the things we were saying earlier is that a lot of this stuff actually works together in interesting ways. The forest and the swamp, a lot of these, like some of these are forest pieces. And there's basically like the only thing that tend to be like swamp and purely swamp are a lot of these banks, but they have paint schemes that are similar. Where did he put the transition ledge?
You still have them right there.
Yeah, this is one of the forest ones, right?
Yeah,
this is forest ledge.
Well, there's only forest.
So
bank.
These two pieces are actually because like this is swamp right here, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually a swamp, and this is actually a forest. But they have similar enough paint schemes. Where's the focus at?
You want me to hold it instead?
Yeah, you hold it so I can look at the focus on the camera.
Okay.
All right. So they actually do have very similar paint schemes. The difference is mostly when they get down to the water. You can see the swamp is got different accents when it gets down near the water. So they're actually made to work together. So there actually are some forest pieces in the Swamp Mega Pledge and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And by the same token, you can see a lot of these rockier pieces that are here are technically like Aranthor pieces as well. Like these environments are all made to actually work with each other consistently.
Right.
Did we get confirmation on a new waterfall add-on composition? It should be out pretty soon. They've been working on it.
There is the confirmation I would tell you is that there definitely is a new composition coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's certainly on its way. We spent a good amount of time just kind of like going over it, talking about it, and making sure that we wanted to do it the best way possible, especially with everybody's notes and kind of the concept of like how we were going to make them justifiable packs.
Oh, they wanna see it with the original Dread Hollow Forest as well before the paint changes.
Yeah, sure.
Do we have that?
But even this right here, right? This is using Caverns Deep.
Yeah.
Banks. And then there's the transition, and then this is the old KS2, right? Like that's the old KS2 water pieces. When it hits, when it hits this, I actually really like the way this color hits the rest of the mat. It's really good. So I will go grab Dread Hollow piece.
Excellent. What else is here? Yeah, we're not doing a giveaway today. What % is older content? So all of these are new sculpts. Except for one tree, I believe. I think the dead tree is the only reused sculpt. Everything else is actually new. It's made to be compatible with the old stuff. But even though it's Aranthor and Dread Hollow again, the swamps are entirely new. But even though it's Aranthor and Dread Hollow again, all the sculpts there are new sculpts. They're made to complement the old ones.
Exactly.
But the only repeat sculpt, it's the dead tree is the only repeat sculpt, right? Like one of the trees is...
Oh, the gnarled tree.
Gnarled
this guy
tree,
right
that's it.
here. This is the only one that's a. This is the of the trees. It's the sculpt that is a reprint. But then on the Bayou Barge, there are two pieces that we reprint as well, which is the oar and the tiller.
Yeah. So outside of like a few tiny things, like that's basically it.
Yeah.
It's all new sculpts.
Here, you know what I'll do? I'll go ahead and put this a little bit on the front side so we can get a little bit better of a view on it.
I thought you were saying it had Dread Hollow banks in it. So it has. So the new Dread Hollow technically doesn't have any banks. It has ledges, but they can be used as banks.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. Where did it go? Oh my God! I became Nate Taylor for a minute. All right.
I was literally just holding it.
It's right here.
Okay, cool.
Like this guy. This is the ledge. This is the forest ledge. Right? Dictated by the greenery. When it's a mountain straight, it doesn't have as much greenery on top of that. It's kind of like the biggest differential, which is true for a lot of the pieces.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's basically each biome has its own focus,
Yeah.
but they have common paint schemes and common design philosophies that let you kind of mix them together. Like Nate's talked about some of the alt builds that he wants to do, combining all of it, like having a forest like run up into a mountain, and then you go up the mountain and it turns back into a forest that gets like a swamp in the middle.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, because like all this stuff was made to kind of transition between each other and
So what I think
and
I
be
might
like
be
just
able
very
to
flexible.
do, right? So we can put.
Correct, they are mats, not trays with metal in them. Yeah, these are mats.
These are mats. There is no metal.
These are also the prototypes. This isn't what they're gonna function better than this and lay flatter. But these are some prototypes we made in office.
They're honestly still. Here's my thing with it, guys. Like they're working pretty well for me, in terms of like stylization and what I like about them and how they're working. They're not bad right now.
Yeah, these aren't the terrain trays. They won't get metal in them.
No.
These are
But the mat is
twice
textured.
Yeah, these are like twice the size. I guess technically 4 times the size because they're.
No, twice.
Is it
Oh
twice?
no, I guess you're
Because
yeah.
it's squared, so yeah. So basically, 4 terrain trays will cover the space of 1 mat.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna slide this back. You might need to. I don't know if you're gonna have to refocus, but I'll put this right here. Right, and then that actually puts us into a cool position to take this guy out and then put this in. Right, we'll keep this corner the way this is, but then I don't think that's gonna work. But this will.
I sure hope we have a vaccine by the time this stuff ships so I can use it with friends. You are not alone.
Yeah, man.
This entire process has been
Educational.
yeah, running and like setting all of this stuff up with almost nobody in the office. It was a thing I realized like yesterday. I told Tyler, I was like, it's been 5 months since I've seen Letitia.
Which is really too bad because
Letitia's like fantastic.
So
So
is Janet.
so it's Janet. At least I saw her a couple
My
months
favorite
ago.
part is like getting to message Janet just randomly, and she's like she has that funny like listen like attitude sometimes when you like say it's like a stupid joke to her, and it's really great. And then she'll make like a really bad pun, and you're like, wait, so you do it too? Like why am I getting out it? She's great.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
So
that we're missing.
I'll also take these out so we can put that Dread Hollow against. I can even scoot it up a bit if we need to get better angle. Right. So that's kind of more this pairing with. We have old Dread Hollow right here, and then we have all on the outside Swamp Bank.
So you see there, it blends pretty well.
I think it does. Like I think the biggest thing for me is like even just look at these two pieces together, right? This right there. This pathway has been considered, and so it right now this paint and this paint is a little different, but like
it looks smooth enough that you could say like, yeah, that's just the plants
right
transitioning. Yeah.
But this is a swamp bank, and then that is just a forest floor. So it's like the fact that has that, dude. Like Eli, Nina, Michelle. Oh, dude, I got to see some of those like original concepts that Michelle was doing for stuff, and it was insane. And what Eli did with the waterfall, and what Nina does just with everything.
Yeah, genuinely, just like when it comes to Aranthor and the way that all those pieces have like 5 different uses depending on which way you churn them. When it comes to the swamps and the forest being this ridiculously detailed and yet still flexible somehow, it's unreal what they managed to pull off. And I think this is one of the strengths of us kind of getting rid of the encounter system as well. I
saw somebody on the Discord say, you know, I got in on the encounter and I liked that system. I think it may have been Slyforge or it may have been Rogue Jedi. But somebody was saying, I see a question in here that I like. Yeah, there's a couple of there that I thought was like a good one. But yeah, just like the idea of losing the encounter system kind of helps us make sure that we're putting stuff into I don't want to say more appropriate necessarily, but
we just gotta focus on
targeted packs, things that like we were trying to pay attention to the ideas that people were presenting. Like what this person said on the Discord was like, you know, I really liked the encounter system, but at the same time, I ended up always reading through it and being like, well, I'm just gonna piecemeal because I kind of want these pieces. Yeah. I like these encounters, but like, it's not the pieces I want. And I'm like, okay, that's actually a really interesting point. So like, you know, it allows us to open up to a much easier sort of pack building system.
Yeah, we just focused on fleshing out environments and making it all work together and be this cohesive outdoor environment without worrying about like, well, this needs to be this encounter, and then you realize like, this stuff doesn't really work with each other because we focused on each thing as like its own separate like reality, more or less. Got a couple questions. Someone who knows if is there custom fees if I order Dwarven Forge stuff from USA to France? But there is, unfortunately. There's nothing. There's nothing we can do about it.
It's going to be custom fees based on country on our pledge. The pledge calculator should be doing that in its calculation. So when you put in your country, when you put in all those other things, that's the intention of the pledge calculator. So
we specifically set this up so that when people are putting in their pledges, because we have a lot of supporters in Europe, and so we set up the pledge calculator to tell them ahead of time what to expect when it comes to customs and all that stuff, so that you won't be surprised.
As much as we possibly could. You know, like it's not perfect, obviously, but that's also just because, you know, it seems like the situation of the world keeps changing every day. Also, I saw one that I thought was cool, talking about the translucency of the mats. No, I can't, because it's a failed prototype. So like I shouldn't show that because it's like it's not going to represent the final product. But it's basically it has a it's not translucent, right? Like the image here, the graphic here on the actual swamp mat, this is opaque.
Yeah, it's not see-through, right?
No.
Yeah.
The texture on top obviously is, but that's just that's an outer texture that gets put onto the graphic on top. You know, so you said there was another one.
Yeah. Somebody said. How does Titan Tooth top look in swamps?
Oh.
Because we had the bottom in here.
I don't know if I have the top in here right now.
Oh, is it being used in the...
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's being used in whatever the chute is over there. So that's the base. That's the swamp
bottom.
hummock.
Why do we got so many more bottoms than tops?
There is an answer to that. That
We can't say on Twitch?
I can't say.
Alright.
It basically just has to do with the factory, that's all.
Thank you for removing the encounter system. Interesting idea, but too limiting for me. Yeah, so the thing with encounters are great for narrative and for selling like this whole like it's exciting and like it does a lot of the work for you in terms of like figuring out how this stuff's supposed to be used. We can design stuff specifically around, hey, you can use this piece in this exact way.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where like it's easier to get the piece right away because we can build around showcasing that piece. But ultimately, I think that was one of the things when we first launched. I think some people were kind of struggling with that because we were missing that.
It's an adjustment. It's that thing where it's like when you're used to looking at a Kickstarter page or when you're used to a company doing a certain thing a certain way, it can be a little jarring, and you're basically getting asked to learn something new, and that's never really fair or fun. Like it's not at the end of the day. Oh, can you hand me that guy? No. Why did you keep going around? Why the Shimmer Frond?
You gotta stop calling everything a guy.
But if I had said Shimmer Frond, can you honestly tell me that you would have picked this thing up?
Everything else here is trees. I know it's not a tree.
You're like, I know the difference between trees and plants.
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't know the name of the piece, do you?
The Shimmer Frond? I would have gotten it. I would have gotten it.
Over again. Ah, yes, the Shimmer Frond.
Everything else on
Of course, the Shimmer Frond.
Everything else on the tree is trees. On the tray is trees.
Sure. Everything.
And the
on
Sorrow
tray is
Nest, and I know the
trees.
Sorrow Nest name.
Yeah, I know you know that one.
Why are you being mean to me? Yeah, but I think like once you actually look at this more, there's more flexibility to it. Which is the main thing. And we can still, and we're trying to do that now, where we're trying to show like specific use cases for the pieces to try and give you the same ideas that we got from encounters.
Yeah.
Without limiting you to buying encounters as the only way to buy things.
Currently, I'm just gonna. I just saw this. I'm just gonna say quickly. Currently, right now, the Green Gentleman stretch goals are a part of pledge sets. Yes, in past Kickstarters, they have also been included in add-ons. I'm just trying to say, as quickly as possible, currently, pledge sets are the things that have stretch goals.
Can you put the new projecting roots on top of the Dread Hollow piece to see if height works?
Yes, of course. I also just wanted to put this guy down. He's just like...
It's a cool piece.
It's just so... I mean, Hamster just did an amazing job quickly sort of...
Painting that thing?
Painting this thing. Also, one of my favorite parts is towards the bottom, as you'll see. I just need to focus. Sorry. I should have said that before I put it in. As you can see... Seriously? Okay, Chelsea Logan.
You just dox her.
So as you can see on the bottom, it looks... And I think this is just a testament to the sculpt as well as, again, Hamster's painting prowess, is that it looks like a larger, what this is called is the mossy rock mound. And so for me, that's just super cool. Like that idea of it's kind of growing out of one of the extra pieces that we have. So if you even just have this there and then this thing is supposed to be a surprise, it pops out of the same thing. It's not even meant necessarily to do that. Like this has a pull accessory hole, so it is meant to serve multiple purposes, but like there's so many things that you could do with some of these pieces that I think is really cool. So let's go ahead and so the large one, as you'll see right here. So the difference between the Dread Hollow floors and the banks, of course, is going to be these projecting roots are going to look a little different hitting the forest floor than it is going to onto a negative space build. Right, so the intention, the visual sort of intention of these things keeping going on the ground is that idea that it's burrowing or it's hitting the water surface and going lower. But you can still see that like it is kind of having that similar effect here on the forest floor, and that's kind of what I really dig about it.
So
but I'll take the small one as well, and let's test this guy too.
So the height does check out, it seems.
Oh yeah. Oh, it checks out.
Nice.
As you can see, both the large projecting root and the small projecting root were built with backwards compatibility in mind. And again, we will be doing a backwards compatibility series of video streams, that kind of thing. I'm happy to show you some of this stuff now. It's just that thing where it's like, it's dealing with swamp, so I of course don't mind doing it. But if it gets into territories that we're either about to cover or I can't talk about yet, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. But like, this was easy. The Dread Hollow stuff, the like showing you old caverns, totally okay. Like that kind of is the stuff that like we could totally do in the moment, and especially when we're talking about these builds. Sorry, Rabbit, that I haven't been able to actually like fully build out a 3x3. Use Flickr to upload pictures and then use BB codes to put them in the forums. Oh, okay. They're just talking to each other.
Yeah. Just two trees dipping their toes in the water, man.
Hey, that's what I do every day. I'm just a big old tall tree. I like a nice cold drink of water. It helps me grow. This is what trees do, right? That's all they do.
Moving on to the next
next actual question.
Somebody asked what the difference between forest and swamp pieces were because they look similar. That's part of the point, is that they are supposed to have similar foliage, but they have different accent colors.
Not only colors, but continue.
They have different accent colors, and they serve different like purposes. So swamp is like mostly all banks.
Yeah.
And that's when you get down to
the only swamp piece currently that has no 42 millimeter edge drop off is this piece, the 3x3 floor. As you can see, it has all of the, it's a straight 4-corner piece. The counter piece to that would be, where are you bastard? Right. So this is the small convex, right? Or is it the small? This is the This is the small convex. This is the small concave.
Yes, because it caves in.
Yeah. The small concave piece. So that being the 3x3 being the only one that's a perfect square is kind of the is part of the purpose of the swamps in general. Its idea is playing with the systems that we kind of started with Dungeon of Doom and then extrapolated on in Caverns Deep with the trifecta system, and then now the biggest difference between them, like Chris was saying, was not only there is subtle differences to the paint schemes. The forest will typically have a bit more red, and the swamps has a bit more purple. So like,
although the
these
greens
accents,
were made to blend together.
The green, like the base of them are supposed to be able to build together. There are these little accents, right? Like you can see little tiny parts of it, or even on this, projecting root itself. There's, purple mushrooms and things. I'm just gonna put it back on.
Those do look pretty
but
cool.
they look great, and that's the intention, right? That's why we also built the other stumps on every bank at similar heights. Right? So when you look at this piece and you look at this piece, actually they're right next to each other right here. These actually hit about, they don't hit the same height necessarily, but in relation to
where the floor is,
it hits the same height. But the other part of it is the actual edge of the piece, right? At the bottom. I'm trying to get it into focus a little bit. Oh, sorry, wrong way. Right? So as you can see along the edge here, that's going to be a piece that is very distinctly a bank. It has these extra little bits. It has this darkened texture as well as sort of a glossy edge to it to kind of give the presence of dipping into the negative space of the water, whereas the forest floors are much more solid in its transition to the other pieces. Like they don't have much of a taper or in that color. Anyway.
So the reason why battle boards aren't in the all-in is because when it comes to the mega pledges, we're trying to focus on giving everybody like all the sculpts there and like getting like,
yeah,
floor
giving them
coverage.
every sculpt that is in the entirety of Wildlands.
Which is interesting. It's been interesting.
Meaning, when you get
Yeah.
Wildlands Untamed, you should be getting every piece that is available for that Kickstarter for that for all 3 biomes. But then if you get a Titan's Tooth Glade, you're getting every forest piece. If you're getting
Yeah.
continue.
So like because like the purpose of the battle boards was to provide a cheaper way to get coverage without having to pay for sculpted floors for that coverage because it's considerably expensive to get that much floor coverage sculpted.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of the particulars are what the particulars are every time. Is that sometimes it's the sculpt that's really complicated and that's what the cost is. Sometimes it's the paint that's
When it comes to Dread Hello,
even when the paint scheme is very simple, it's the amount of coverage that like ups the price or whatever. So there's a lot of factors that like go into this, and that's kind of what been my task with Toby and Nate and our marketing director Jay, or I guess he's our finance. I shouldn't say marketing. I should say
CFO.
Yeah, he's
our assistant
officer.
Jay.
My brain is frying. Just that, like, that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been trying to make sure that we're every time we're trying to make sure we're giving the best price for the piece that you're seeing on the board.
Yeah. Like there was so much leading up to this. There was so much like talking to the factory and saying like, hey, how can we get some of these, especially when it came to the trees. The trees are such complicated molds that like trying to get them to be as affordable as possible because they're hard pieces to make.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying to get them as cheap as possible, but it's also it's the reality of the fact that we're doing this all hand sculpted. Somebody asked earlier if we do any 3D printing. It's all hand sculpted. It's all hand painted. It's to say like
we did a when we were Nate's going to talk about battle boards, terrain trays, and that kind of stuff tomorrow. When we were initially looking at sizings for battle boards, we did like a 3D print of the frame, right?
Yeah.
Like we were like, we want it to be this, and we don't need to make it out of clay. We just need to do it out of, so, we did that, but like nothing more than that.
Yeah, it's like if we're trying to figure a thing out, but
Yeah.
it's never what the piece is going to be.
Well, no, it's not even that if we're trying to figure something out. It's like figuring something out like the battle board. That's what I mean. Is that it's not any of the sculpts or anything like that. All of those are still exactly what they are. Sorry, somebody asked, what floor spaces does the all-in cover?
Well, it combines the 3 mega pledges. So we're looking at.
You're technically, again, this was originally a 4x4 dropped to a 3x3, so I would even just consider it. You could say
3 3x3s.
You could say 3x3s because that's the intention of the 4x4 build of the Swamp Mega Pledge is to give you enough.
With the swamp.
You want rough terrain. You want things to like swim through. You want things to be like, oh, I have to trudge through this area, and so it is about the negative space as well as like you get these things like the lily pad cluster, and you get the swamp hummock, the tiny hummock, right? So those things pair well when they sit just open, not having to be on top of a. They can be on top of this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I guess it's 9x3, not 9x9, because you're lining 3 3x3s up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't make a perfect square out of it.
Yeah.
But still.
So
You either make an L, right? You go from one biome to the next.
Or you just mix it all together.
Or you mix it all together, or you put it in a straight line. It's kind of like when you talk about floor space, it depends because like we're seeing here, the Dread Hollow is about floor coverage. In terms of like when you're talking about old Dread Hollow and then mixed with the new pieces we have, it's expanding in the scatter and all these other things, but and again with the battle boards as well, and the same thing with, and then for mountains when you have pieces like this is about verticality, right? Like this is about you're going up. I think this is 50.8. It's like 2 inches. It goes up by 2 inches, so it's like you are definitely putting this against here to build upwards, right? And again, the swamp is about negative space, so it's really just the floor space you cover. I don't know if I've actually quantified that yet.
It's tough. Like the closest thing is it's the pledges that are getting added to it are 2
because
3 by
again
3s and
your
a 4
floor
by 4.
coverage is also going to account for height.
Yeah.
Right, like it's not just the Wyverstone Peak is not just a 3 foot by 3 foot. It also stands, somewhere like, I don't know, what is that, like a foot and a half, 2 feet.
Yeah, it's tall.
It can stand pretty tall, and the same thing with the swamp. It can build out pretty long or pretty wide, and then Dread Hollow itself is pretty dense. The Titan's Glade. It's like that kind of stuff. All encompassing is a little tough. It's a good question. I really like that question.
That was basically the 3 ideas behind them. It was just like Aaron Thor verticality, swamps like expansive horizontal coverage, and then forest just like dense, like a lot of detail packed into it.
Yeah, similar. Like we need a good amount of coverage in the space that it takes up, but we want it to be full of new trees and all these other things, and so a lot of the trees that got put in were both in the swamp and in the forest.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I don't know. As far as battle boards go, though, it's been interesting seeing the response to it because they're such a new thing for us and also such a polarizing thing. So like we've got people coming in who don't want anything to do with them, and people who say that it's exactly what they're looking for. And so trying to please everybody is hard. Especially it was already hard to please everybody, but now we've introduced like another element.
Well, I think when we I think in general when we talk about like pleasing everyone too, it's just that like we want to listen, we want to be there, and we want to make sure that everybody actually has a place and has something that they can feel like, hey, I like Dwarven Forge because I get that from them.
Trying to provide.
It doesn't have to be everything. Like at no point do you have to have every Dwarven Forge piece ever to do a cool build.
Unless you like want to get into the club.
Don't say that. They can't see your face. Don't say that.
Wait, are we not supposed to tell them about the club?
Oh. But like I guess I see it as this thing for me where like I'm really excited about these water mats, and that's going to matter a lot to me because I'm going to do stuff with those that is going to be a lot of scatter, and maybe I'll still. What I actually really liked was that you can still draw on these, for right now. Do
like a dry erase?
Yeah, dry erase. It's the texture mat that like still accepts the dry erase. I'm hoping that is still true when we get the final product. But like currently, because it's the nature of the plastic, right? Like it's going to, like, the dry erase is going to be able to come off. So
yeah, it's the thing. We're trying to expand, and I guess that's the thing with like all the terrain, all like the flat terrain coverage options, so the mats, the battle boards, the expansions, the terrain trays, is to try and like help make builds more convenient for when you just need something that's like fast and easy as well, and then still being able to put like some really nice looking scatter on it, so it still looks better than just doing like the dry erase mat. But
yeah,
well,
it actually provides. It still has the grade. It still provides like a nice little extra graphic on top, and I can litter it with this stuff and that be enough.
Yeah,
and that's cool for me. And so that's kind of, I think Nate has definitely said this enough, and we as a company have certainly said it 100 times, but I think we should say it 100 times more all the time. What we want you to do is enjoy your game, and we want to provide stuff that helps you enjoy your game. And if that to you is, I really only have the budget or the necessity for like 4 pieces, or like 4 packs rather, like, right? It's like I only need these like 4 packs, and that's enough to get me what I want.
Then we want you to enjoy those. We want you to enjoy those 4 packs.
I want you. Yeah, it's like, and so that's why we try to cultivate it into the way that it's like we've given you all these pieces that you can make something from this thing, even if it's just a little add-on thing.
Somebody wants to know if that's our cat.
It's not.
It's not our cat.
It's not our cat. This guy, he's just a cute boy ready for space. He's a little castronaut.
Our cat does not have the drive to become an astronaut.
Oh god, she would. You know what though? She does. She also she would hate low gravity zero. Like she just
She wouldn't be able to lay down on anything.
no, she wouldn't be able to. You know what though? She'd be able to jump on anything.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So this build.
This build. We kind of got off on a tangent there, didn't we?
We went off on several tangents in a row. Well, we're trying to answer everybody's questions. We're trying to.
Well, I think the problem is like I'm really excited to try to finish this.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if it's.
If what we were trying to do is possible.
No, it's possible. That's not it. It's just that like I'm gonna have to switch some stuff out. Also, I have to take these guys out.
Are you not a bad enough dude to make a 3x3 Sorrow Isle?
Not really certain where those threats are coming from.
Oh yeah, I've been the one. Yeah, I've been the one on the forums. I've also.
I feel like I keep putting this piece here.
Probably.
I feel like I keep moving it over. Like it'll work this time.
Well, as we established earlier, I can't tell the pieces apart, so I couldn't tell you.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been the one on the forums. I also am on the Discord a lot. The Discord was kind of my idea when we started the streams. I'm not bragging. I'm not gonna brag about Discord. I'm not gonna brag about the social media platform that uses Wumpus as its mascot. I'm not proud of it.
I'm not.
Like, but
I don't think this thing should exist.
Yeah.
Nerds are a plague.
Chris, I have to apologize for the verbal kicking I gave you the other day. Oh yeah. Oh man.
What
yeah.
happened?
I said something on the forums. I can't remember. I just came in to like answer a question real quick. And then Rabbit Burner just absolutely like
destroyed you.
Yeah, I took a beating on the forums. I can't remember what it was. I had blocked that experience out.
Yeah, he had to. Oh. Nice.
I bet cats would love Zero G, at least for a short adaptation period. Cats do not like change.
I mean, ours certainly doesn't.
I think the big thing is all the doors that have to be open, which is really dangerous on a spacecraft.
She just opens the door. Like, no. This isn't cool. No.
She's just sitting at the airlock.
Oh man. I heard that she started batting you in the face.
Yes, so because my sleep schedule has gotten wildly messed up once the Kickstarter started, I woke up at 6 in the morning at one point, which is early for me, and fed her, and now she realized, I can get fed at 6 in the morning. And so the last several nights, she just started hitting me in the face at 6 in the morning until I wake up. So that's where we're at. Oh, man. Tyler needs his reset button hit. He's lost it.
Dude. I was getting like Mark Hamill laughs out of that.
Yeah. This is a cool tree.
You're a cool tree.
I wish I was a cool tree.
That's a Dread Hollow piece.
I know.
Well, cool.
It doesn't have to be a new piece to be a cool piece. Oh yeah, the Bayou Barge isn't in this. The barge is just an add-on, right? It's not included in any of the...
No, the Bayou Barge is in the Mega Pledge.
It is?
Yes,
Oh, excellent.
the Bayou Barge is in the Sorrow Isle Mega Pledge, as well as in the Wildlands Untamed, obviously, because the 3 biomes get put into that one. But it was just released as its own add-on pack. It's like $72 painted. It's awesome. It's got this,
I love this
gator
man.
skull on the front.
The gator skull is
so
the gator
cool.
skull's the real important part, honestly.
I think it's rad. And there's also this harpoon launcher.
Is that attached by a pull accessory? The gator skull, I mean.
Yes, it is.
So we can put like
You can
the
put
angel art and
this-
stuff too.
Yeah, you could put the saluting seraph. You could put the Mephit reed if you were so inclined. You could put the there's a bunch of them. So you can also put this gator skull on the hummock if you want.
So Swamp is heavily bank oriented. The add-on sets up seem like they do not work unless you get the batch of them. That's fine. I'm curious if that was the intent or just don't see the correct usage.
I'm not certain what you mean by batch of them. We certainly haven't released all of the add-on packs that are going to be available. For one.
A lot of them we're still working on getting the graphics ready and
Yeah.
getting them released. There's going to be a lot more. There's a lot of packs coming in terms of just kind of
Want
showing.
to turn off that light real quick, see if that'll help show up on the show the LED a little bit more. Yeah, look at that.
Look at that glow!
It's the balefire lantern on the front.
It's a cool bow, man.
It's really cool.
We need a
Well,
bow.
this is a very similar lantern
We need a bow
in a nice way. This is a very similar lantern to the one from KS4, from the city builder. Wait, KS3. KS4's castle. But yeah, so it's what it's going to have is it will have battery located, battery switch over here.
Turn this back on.
Yeah, we can turn this back on. So it'll have the battery switch right here, right? And then it has the pole accessory on top, the two poles on the side, which you can take the tiller out and you can put the oar out and you can put the little harpoon launcher over here instead. But the back, and then there's the midsection, right? It has this nice sort of like cool gator like texture thing on the side. I can't remember what it was I'm pretty sure it's gator skin. It's nice. But then the back has this really cool, it's a little tough to get out right now.
The finished piece will be easier than the prototype.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just that it's like, it's just trying to get it in there.
Yeah, when we're using like all the pieces of the
Secret
Kickstarter and stuff,
compartment.
what you're seeing usually is prototypes that are not cast in the final Dwarvenite,
No.
and so sometimes they'll be a little stickier, they'll be harder to work with.
Well, also in general, the resin shrinks, and I think Nate has said this a few times on stream, so it's good that he's said it. Is that as you can see, like this is supposed to be a 6 square piece, and it's just under. Right, like I don't know if you can. It's a little tough to see right there on the edge, but you can tell it's supposed to stretch out more towards this side. So some of these things get a little wonky.
yeah, so these prototypes that we make for ourselves are not as good as the pieces that you guys will actually end up getting.
No,
So if you like the way
not
this
by
looks,
a long shot.
if you like the way this looks now, wait till you have the actual fully functional Dwarvenite.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. Okay, so they clarified on the add-on pack thing. They're saying it seems like anyone can't stand alone. What I will say is, so some of the add-on packs are meant to be kind of supplementary, like if you
Yeah.
want a few extra banks.
Exactly.
But then we do also do some packs that are meant to be alone. They may not be out yet, but there's a difference between like packs that we offer as kind of like cheap ways to like bolster your collection, and then packs that we offer to be, they're spendier, but it's like, here's just a bunch of this thing. Like usually, because I know like back during Hellscape we did like the Magma River like mega pack, and it was just a bunch, like more rivers than you could possibly put in one build.
Yeah, well, and that's like why mega packs happen. That's why we have in the past done like adventure packs, those kind of things that like put things together in conceptual, like making it easier for you to do exactly what Chris just said. Like sometimes it's just supplemental, sometimes it is its own separate thing. Like the Titan's Tooth, like if that's by itself. Right, like if that's by itself, then that's a lot easier to get than if it's always just in this big pledge or always in this big pack, right? So it's a good point. Is that it's like it's not like everything is standalone, but it has that at its core.
Yeah, but you're right in that some of these packs definitely won't be enough to like do a whole thing by themselves.
No.
Because some of them aren't really meant for that, which is also why we're like listening to everybody throughout the campaign. Because sometimes we somehow just like forget a pack that we really should have.
Don't know, like,
Yeah.
You know what? That's a better idea.
And so there's a lot of add-on packs that we add to the campaign because people bring up like, hey, we could use this.
Yeah.
there's like that's kind of what's happening with the waterfall pack too. Like we're reworking the waterfall pack because we put it out there and people are like, it'd really be better if it was like this. And we looked at it and it was like, yeah, they got a point.
It's like, all right.
So we're reworking it.
Like, we're not. What's the word? What's the term?
We're not tied to the add-on packs the way that we are with pledges. Like with pledges, once somebody like makes a pledge or chooses a pledge in Kickstarter, like we can't change that.
Right.
But add-on packs we can mess with throughout the whole campaign and into the pledge manager.
Yeah.
So that the add-on packs are where we really get flexible and try to listen to what people want and try to change things and get different offerings to make sure that we're covering as many things people want as possible.
Yeah.
Waterfall's a must-have. Yeah, if anybody saw the waterfall painting stream last night, it's ridiculous how easy painting the waterfall actually is, huh? Like that's one of the nicest looking pieces, and it's probably one of the easiest pieces to paint.
It seems like it's going to be a very, very simple production.
Yeah,
for both backers and the factory.
Yes.
Getting
the casting color right was Thank God we got the casting color right.
Yeah. Do I not have a third one? So I have this one here. This one here. Where's my number 3? Oh, it's over there. Put it over there.
New to the channel, love y'all stuff. Hey, thank you. It's been fun to do these streams. This is the 5th stream in a row, 5th day in a row we've had a stream.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got 20 more, baby. Are you missing something? Do you need me to grab something?
No, I'm not missing anything. That's the problem.
Oh.
I just need to be smarter.
Look at those jumpy stones. Watching Aaron last night confirmed the casting is clear. That's a candidate for light plate underneath. They'll look amazing. Yeah, we've messed around with putting some lights behind the waterfall in the office. You can get some pretty cool effects out of it.
Yeah, I'm in the industry.
Yeah, I work in the terrain industry. Oh, you like sculpting? I could,
Oh, I mean, like, yeah, I could put in a good word for you if you want. Like, if you want.
I like how it started off as Kermit.
Oh, yeah, would you like to join the industry with me?
I'm just trying to think of, like, a Rainbow Connection parody that would fit. And it's just not coming to me.
I don't have one either. I can't
Probably something about why are so many of our things purple. The answer being that Nate is obsessed with purple.
There's so many purple flowers and also a purple frog.
I'm really hoping we do a desert scape. Yo, Letitia's in chat. The desert scape.
Letitia!
No. Like deserts, like
super excited.
Okay, no, like my 2 favorite biomes are desert and the Arctic.
Which one did you study in school?
Actually, I did do a report on the taiga, which is not quite the Arctic, but it's getting closer to the tundra.
Okay.
The point is, yeah, desert and Arctic/tundra. I love those biomes. I want us to do those sets so bad, but I also get that like those are some of the most rarely used. Like
it's like it's some weird sort of like, it is fairly niche, but enough people still play in it. It is this odd thing where it's like you can't distinctly say that like nobody plays that biome, but it is also still very, very specific.
Yeah, and it's a thing where it's scary and risky because it's like we don't know how many people would go like, yeah, I need that if we do make that stuff. But like I just think about us sculpting like just some really cool dunes with like half of like a dragon skeleton like kind of sticking out of the sand and like just those kinds of like scapes, and it would be so cool. It'd be so cool. But yeah, we gotta make stuff that'll sell. Turns out we want to eat.
I'm losing it.
Sand dunes, so much wild-looking flora, snakes and scorpions. We can make such cool like cacti, like palm trees, beach banks could be helpful and also work for deserts. I think that would be like the approach, right? Like the approach would be to try and make a bunch of stuff that could be used in things other than deserts in the Arctic, but like really feel at home there. Like if you can find like if you can find enough things that can be multi-purpose. Now, some people have talked about kind of doing snow, or doing like Arctic kind of like snow-capped mountain stuff, and like kind of using Thor as like a base to kind of get into tundra, and like that's a possibility. The closest thing we have is the ice caverns. The ice caverns can be used for that kind of environment if you build it right. Mm-hmm. But like, it's still not quite. I mean, that's what we did when we went to Kanya, but
right. Damn it! I'm just losing it, and just getting frustrated.
Mega Beast corpses and skeletons. Who's the voice that came? It's Chris / Adustus. I love Arctic stuff for an Icewind Dale adventure. Yeah, a lot of people are wanting us to do Arctic because of Icewind Dale. Scarabs. Oh, man. Oh, we should have put a scarab on one of these mountains. That would have been really cool. How long has some of you guys worked at Dwarven Forge? We've both been here roughly... so I helped with Hellscape. I came in and I did video work on Hellscape. And then I freelanced here and there, edited a couple of videos. But I really came in, like... It was in January this year that I started, like, really being here. Where we started this Twitch... started working on getting this Twitch channel set up. I started monitoring the forums. Started, like, talking to the team more often and being, like, just more involved in, like, helping things happen. Tyler, you've been here since September?
I've been here a year. More than a year.
It was, like, right after Hellscape came in.
Yeah, so I started working here about July last year. I started by helping out on a Hellscape shoot and then kind of went from there.
How many sets is this using? This is the Sorrow Isle. This is the Swamp Mega build. Is what it is.
Swamp Mega build with...
But instead of it being on a 4x4 footprint, we're breaking it down to a 3x3. And we're trying to make one continuous thing, from what I understand.
Yeah, I'm attempting to make sure that we have that going for us, and it's kicking my butt right now, is what it is.
I love a good beach/dock set to connect to a port city. There's a lot. So cities are like kind of scary, right? Because there's so much you can do in a city. There's so much architecture. There's so much variety to buildings that you could make. But like at some point you have to draw the line, and like you can only make so much.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the usual battle. I want this thing that's cool, and then it's like, okay, well, you also want two other things that are cool. What do you actually want to do? And you have to make that tough choice of like, as cool as this thing is, this other thing is either more versatile or we actually get more out of it by doing this way. So,
especially with how long it takes to do everything by hand the way that we do, and like what the overhead is for making this stuff. There's so many cool ideas, because that's the same thing with sci-fi too, right? Like a bunch of the team love sci-fi and really want to do sci-fi.
Well, it's not like there's not necessarily a market for it. It's just that it's like the
market that we found is fantasy, so it's like a thing of if we go away from that, which is what's nice. Like we try to do like little things that can be used in sci-fi. Like there's a lot of stuff in this set that can be sci-fi.
Oh, for sure. Like this thing, like the Queldrin tree.
Yeah,
that is a straight up sci-fi tree to me as well. Like there's a bunch of things that you could do, and like I actually just watched this really cool movie. What was it called?
Paul Wart Mall Call.
But it had oh man, oh god, Pedro Pascal in it, and it's a really good sci-fi.
That's a really good name.
Yeah, he's the guy who plays the Mandalorian. He's also the guy who plays Oberon in, or I think I said the name wrong, but in Game of Thrones, he's in a lot of stuff. He's really good.
I haven't seen any of those things.
I know, but I just mean to say that, like, you know, you're uncultured swine, so.
Where are these cultured swine that I'm, like no, where are these cultured swine that I'm apparently inferior to? Where are these pigs?
Cannot tell you.
Where are these pigs walking around with copies of An Infinite Jest?
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, I can't say you're wrong. Gosh, I sure hope.
I mean, you can. You often do.
Uncertain about how often I'd say.
But you can make a line of accessories that would convert your wildlands into SF mode. Terrain is terrain. It'd be sci-fi. Okay.
SF mode. Engaged.
I was like, wait, we can make our wildlands like San Francisco?
I would love that.
How does that work?
I love San Francisco.
I want sandy beaches, tropical ports of call badly. Yeah, that'd be really good. There's so many cool things we could do, but then it just becomes like a thing of we've got to hit things that are commonly used enough that we can rely on it to sell.
Sure.
Otherwise, we can't make anything.
Right. I'll push that there.
King's Road pieces in the forest would be cool.
Sure. We've dabbled in some things of like what could we do for roads and trails and all these things. So it's definitely stuff that's on our minds, and how do we make this work? Do we make it a full sculpt? Do we just do it as a terrain tray? Do we do it, especially with these new battle boards and everything? We're in a constant flux of conversations about what is best.
And unfortunately, sometimes we can't actually get an answer to that, so we just have to make a choice.
Unless it's Peter.
Hey, we're getting pretty close here.
Yes, we are. I needed to get close.
This really has become just like a jigsaw puzzle. Just because you gave yourself like a challenge of...
Well, and even this 3x3 is a little bit tougher to get these banks to play nice. So I'm giving it a little bit of a... It's not exact what I would want from this one spot, but that's okay.
I want giant 6-inch hexes outdoor terrain. If we did bust out a Kickstarter and it was all made on a hex grid instead of a square grid, people would be furious.
Oh, dude.
People would be so mad.
But I would be too. I'd be like, why did we do that?
Yeah, square grid is the most common.
All right.
If we
You
just
can
make
let
it,
me
we
just
just
dress
make it,
stuff too. You can totally put anything anywhere you want. At this point, I'm trying to make sure that we use every piece. Stop. These are not.
It's shipwrecked.
No, stop.
It's
You're
shipwrecked.
No.
You know what?
God, you just want a cool little picture? I ask you to do something and you just want a cool little picture?
I thought it was a cool concept to have a boat in a tree. It's like returning back to its roots. What? So are all of these this crescent piece? This is part of it as well. I don't want to put extra stuff in.
It's two crescents.
Okay. No grid. Use bloody rulers.
Say no to grids. I'm joking. I don't care. I have no steak. Or pork. For that matter.
See, you can't get mad at me for making dumb jokes when you're going to say stuff like that. Alright. I want to do something cool with this. I'm not sure what.
Close. I'm so close to getting all of these out of my hands.
There's got to be a cool place to put this. Swider using a piece of 550 cord. Can't wait to play with all this stuff. Yeah. Here's the thing: is I'm kind of forgetting that we're streaming, and just kind of getting
it's the thing that we need to end soon.
We do. We absolutely do. For our own.
No, I mean for
our own sanity
even
as well.
For just the stream in general. We've been going for 2 hours.
Yeah, but we said we'd finish this, so we're gonna finish it.
We said we'd finish this. And it's that thing where we ended up talking about some other stuff, which is great, but that also means I was getting distracted from building.
Well, I hope that the conversation was entertaining or helpful.
Especially helpful. I really don't want anybody to be confused or feeling like they didn't get the information that they needed. Damn.
I can't handle these people.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Agathard. We try to up it every time for sure, and not just pieces got to be bigger. It's more about what's the new I'm into that. Yeah, I'm into that more than I'm into the tree.
Can I?
It's more about, it isn't just about how big is this piece or
No,
like
you
what's
stay
the new
together.
thing or anything necessarily. It's about how do we make sure that the thing that we just did or did 2 Kickstarters ago is relevant still, and we give it a nice addition. Because I'm super excited to play with these like I showed in the beginning with City Builder or with Castle. Is that it's like these things are still meant to play with each other. That's what Nate was showing off when he showed off the waterfall cutout. Is that it's like this thing still fits within.
The fact that you can drop the Hellgate inside
You can drop the Hellgate.
cutout
You can drop
escarpment.
any of the castles. You can drop all these things. That it's like this is super important. This is a great piece. Damn it.
Yeah. I'm excited. The fact that it's going to be like a year until I have like my own set of this stuff that I don't got to worry about like belonging to the office is really depressing.
It is what it is.
But I have my hellscape. But it's also all unpainted.
You decided to do that.
I know, because I was like, I can get so much more.
Well, I can do it.
But
then you don't get to complain when there's so much hellscape that you have to paint.
I'm not
because that's also the fun part.
that is fair. I need to actually set the time aside.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to paint better on a bunch of minis that aren't that big of a deal before I get to like the lava terrain that I'm very worried about messing up.
Sure.
So do you guys get a serious discount on Dwarven Forge? No, not really. I don't think we actually get a discount.
I mean, like
We get pledge manager credit after the Kickstarter,
yeah.
depending on how successful yeah.
It's also just that thing where like I kind of also just get to play with this all day in
Yeah.
a certain way. Like I for my home game, I sometimes borrow stuff from the office collection, and then I bring it back the next day. Is that it's like that's, I mean, hopefully the next day.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's not really a huge worry for me. I'd much rather. I guess it's sort of the same thing that I have when it comes to being a DM. Is I am much more into the idea of other people getting something. Other people getting a fun time. They enjoy their experience not only with me at the table, but also just in general with their experience on tabletop. Yeah.
Well, it's been the fun thing, and I think I don't know. I remember when we were doing the home game. The first time we used terrain in our home game was when we used the ice caverns for Connie.
Yeah.
And I remember when you did reveal that to the rest of the party who, doesn't work here and doesn't see this stuff on a regular basis. Like, that was just like such a cool thing for us to not be doing just a grid anymore.
This is weird.
What is it?
Yeah, no, it was. It was definitely something that, like...
Hey man, Tyler, show us the runes somewhere in the swamp. Are there runes with the...
There are. I had left that out of the original build. But, yeah, I would probably have put them right here. I mean, yeah. I mean, hold on.
None of these are... Are any of these things we're not allowed to show? I just want to make sure.
No, they should be fine. But I basically, damn it, I should have. You're right. I forgot the ruins from the build. Damn.
You got to get several sets of runes and stack them. I mean, we can just throw some in real quick.
Yeah. I'll put a couple in there, and other than that, this is. From that, then I would probably have taken this and.
Go.
And then
So you can probably just take like this ruined one and just have it literally in the water somewhere.
no.
No, because it still has a flat base.
Yeah, like with the flat base, I would still probably put it in some formation. But I would, yeah. I'd get this guy and then I do something like that, probably.
You know what the background racket is?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you.
Wish I could tell you. If you find out,
There are also a couple of
super.
other like plants that still go here. So like those 2 sorrow nests, and the other black rot, and the other slink root, and the other floating log.
there's so much. This is
Yeah.
it's just like a very full
So
build.
this is what I mean. Is like if everybody is wondering like how a 3x3 from a 4x4 breaks down, obviously again. I could have and should have thought about the build a little bit more before I love that right there. Yeah. Like I should have thought about it just a little bit more before initiating. But I am not mad at myself right now because I'm on camera.
Now tonight, that's a
Yeah, when I get home, that's gonna be a different story. Yeah, but no, like, did we put everything in then?
I think
At this
we
point,
did basically
again, there's a few more ruins pieces. This build also has the fogger, and this also has. No, wait, no, this one doesn't have the fogger.
Those ruins colors are great.
No,
Hey,
this one
if
doesn't
you
have it.
if you like the paint scheme on the ruins, on Sunday, Hamster, the guy that painted those, is going to be doing a stream showing how you paint them. If that sounds interesting.
Yeah, actually, yes. It's that thing where that was not a sentence that I should have said. It's a thing that yeah. I'm really excited to see him do it, man. Like it does have it in the graphic. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. It's that thing where I have all of these packs roaming around in here, and so it's one of those things where I'm like, is it should have been like is it in that one? And so yeah, you are correct. If it's in the graphics, it's in the thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
great, cool.
Watching that one. Yeah, it should be good. Hamster's also just a fun guy to have on camera.
He's rad.
He's very
And
entertaining.
he also has like just a really good knowledge of. Well, he
I
has
like it.
those like really fun particular things that like he did this right. Like he has a really cool ombre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's you can see that he's a wargame painter
Yeah.
in the way that he does like gradients.
But then you can also tell how finely detailed Aaron can be.
Yes.
She's
Aaron does natural environments.
Wild in like the composition of knowing. Okay, well, I have to put this sort of shadow in these areas to highlight the sculpt. To me, like this piece, these 2 little. I don't even know what those are called necessarily.
Just the fact that you're like getting like different details on each front.
Yeah.
Like
Like I have all of those. I can tell what everything is supposed to be. Like, it's incredible.
yeah.
I think we should call it.
We should call it. Yeah. What is Aaron's background? She studied.
I
art
do not
formally?
know.
I think she went to a
I
school.
do not know.
I think they talked about it in the stream last night, actually, because she did mountain painting and waterfall painting last night.
Mm-hmm.
All the old streams are archived on this channel. We are streaming every day, whether it kills us or not. And yeah, if you want to, if you have any other questions, anything you want to follow up on, if you want to make sure you're getting updates, you can check out the Kickstarter comments. We post everything in there. Also, the Discord is very active.
And you're right. Yeah, it's the not wanting to say any beans and it's certainly it's breaking my brain a little bit to remember what's a
I'm excited.
what's a bean and what's not. Yeah, I'm excited for like 3 weeks from now when everything.
I'm excited to get to the part of the campaign, or
We're
to the
only
part of the
just get to
campaign.
talk about it all.
Yeah, but this is basically So this is Sorrow Isle on a 3x3
Yeah.
grid. It looks a lot denser, as you can tell. A lot of people were thinking Sorrow Isle looked empty, and I think that's because it was so spread out on a 4x4 footprint.
Right, and again, it's supposed to be the intention. Like this guy, this barge also works a lot better when it's in its full capacity on a 4x4. the way I was building it, right? Like
Yeah.
the way I'm trying to make sure that there's like still some pathways. To Rabbit Burner's point, you could probably build a big island right here. It would maybe look a little off. Like you'd probably be able to do things that like curve in while you're like you'd probably have an extra little pool inside the island if you did that, but like it's
this
possible.
so this is 3x3. We've taken the 2x2 mats and overlapped them into a 3x3.
Do you want to show that GIF one more time?
Yeah.
Right before we go?
It's pretty simple.
Right. So we put it in at the foot mark on each thing, and then you just overlap them on top of each other one more time, and boom, 3x3.
Probably too active on Discord. Man, that's the thing. Like, I'll leave the office. I'll be at the office for like 12 hours, and I'll go home and spend like 3 more hours on the Discord. It's a problem. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna call it. The Swamp walkthrough video checks will be out soon. It's the only one left, and in that he'll go through.
I mean, like
piece.
this is me actually next to. Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to like scroll up a little bit, somebody was saying like, is that actually is that actually the 3x3? It's like yeah, these are my arms trying to reach through all of it, not knock anything over, but like this is it.
Yeah.
Okay, we can scroll back down now.
Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a lot of fun. We gotta pack up, get out of here, get some sleep, come back the next day.
Yeah.
If you got any other questions?
One last thing
what's
before it goes. Wizzle, are we going to see plants to go in the water? Again, like the projecting roots go in. You can also just put the shimmer frond directly in. But if you mean like things actually poking in, the roots are currently some of the only ones, and as well as the lily pads. I didn't have Mephit reed, so that would have gone like right here.
Oh yeah, are Mephit reeds included? They're a stretch goal, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So they would be in this pack.
This was just doing the base. This was just doing no stretch goals, no nothing.
Excellent.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Thanks for sticking around for as long as you did. We'll see you around.